to make the truth yourself. He sees another word, Yikashet Atzmoi, is Kshot. Kshot is also the lashon of emes. In really quick Kabbalah, emes is tiferes. Ava mitzvah v'yakov, emes is tiferes. It really goes together. It's called the previous and the chitzonius. The internal of a person is emes. External is tiferes, is beauty. When a person does the emes right, it comes the most beautiful. When you do the right thing right, it comes to be beautiful. So this is the big chiddush here. The big chiddush is a person has to take the emes to himself. Emes to himself, he has to make sure that he keeps the emes. Emes to himself. Now, what's the big chiddush today? The big chiddush is we made a decision, we learned last week, that to able to help Klal Yisrael, you have to have enjoyment. I know. People today is a world of pleasure. People want pleasure today. So, comes as Saba Mikelim says, before you want to get people to teach people how to taste the pleasure, you close the door there? I cannot let it bother me.
Just close the door, please.
Be quiet. לסגור את הדלת ארובי. זה מפריע. זה מפריע. The big chiddush today, we learned after we made a decision that a new concept is called enjoyment. It means our job today, maybe? No. אני בעצם, זה צריך להתקשר מישהו, זה לא עובד אחרת. צריך טלפון של מישהו. תתקשר לישוע גרם, איזה טלפון שלו. תתקשר לישוע גרם. תקרא לי, יעזר את הטלפון. תתקשר לישוע גרם. לא, הוא רוצה לשמוע את זה, אני בתוך הזה כבר. He says like this. What's the big chiddush? Let's focus again. I said that big chiddush. Yesterday we learned, and 2 days ago we learned, our job is to... בוא תעשו את זה, תתן לשמוע את הטלפון שלך, הנה. תקשיב בטלפון. הנה, בוא תקשיב בטלפון. למדנו שאדם, we learned, a person has to make himself beautiful. שקשת את עצמו. You have to make yourself beautiful before you make other people beautiful. You see, people that have a natural here, I'm nobody, I'm zero, you have to make yourself beautiful. Now we learned yesterday, 2 days ago we explained. Now we have a different mahalach today, different chiddush today. The chiddush of today, the pnimius of a person is emes, and the chitzonius is beauty. This again, the pnimius, has to be true, emes. The outside has to be beautiful. And I'll explain what I mean. Because Kshot it has two words. Ikashet atzmo, also word beauty. And if you look, hu elhoi Kshot, Kshot is also emes. So the same word Kshot, you can learn two ways. Or you can learn beauty, to make yourself beautiful. But also you can learn the Samikele means not beautiful, it means emes. So a person has to make himself emes. Before a person wants to teach people emes, he has to take the emes and live it himself. This is basically the idea. Now, how, after we learned last week and 2 weeks ago we learned, today is a world of pleasure. There's a mitzvah. It's not a world of happiness. People are not looking for happiness today. People are looking, look. We already explained it last week, 2 weeks ago. People are not looking today for life. People are looking for happiness. Today, people are looking for pleasure. We already made a decision. We explained it a couple of times. People, where's pleasure? They run. Kef. It's called kef. Where I can get pleasure. For pleasure, they do everything for pleasure. So this is our generation. Every generation. So we have our job in our generation. If you want to make Klal Yisrael, our job is to get people to taste the pleasure of Torah, to taste the pleasure of mitzvahs. You have to keep people to taste. Yeah, our job is to get people to taste tamu, uga'u. Let them taste and see that the goodness of Torah, the goodness of mitzvahs, the goodness of Avodas Hashem, goodness is to be in the yeshiva. You have to take them to taste it. This is the world of today. Every dor show, this is our generation today. After we know that Yesod. So basically is, after you know that Yesod. So, after we know that Yesod, that we have to be Baal Anoy. What is the Rosh Hashiva? Baal Anove. Ano. He has to teach people how to get pleasure. Pleasure of Torah. What is a Magachir? Has to get people, teach them how to get pleasure of Torah. Pleasure of mitzvahs. Then to teach them how to get the taste of Torah, taste of mitzvahs. Because the moment they taste it, they'll go after the Torah mitzvahs by Teva. Because we are running, that Teva today, people running after pleasure. So they see tasted, they'll see, Torah tastes good, mitzvahs good. So they're immediately able to run it. So now, comes a Saba Mikhail and said, listen, you want to teach people pleasure? First, you have to feel the pleasure yourself. Kshot Azmecha tchila. First, you have to feel yourself pleasure. It doesn't go opposite. I want to teach you pleasure and yourself you don't have the pleasure. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Adarab is isu. And you know. So how you get yourself to have pleasure? So we really explained it last week. It starts with Avona. With the Rambam. Avona. Understanding. Biggest problem exists, and the biggest problem from the today and our generation, why people have no pleasure? Because they fake themselves. They don't really understand what they're learning. They don't really understand what they're doing. So if they don't understand, they don't have the pleasure. When you understand what is Torah, what is Tefillin, what is Avodas Hashem, so you run after then you have Havana. When you have Havana, you get the pleasure. Like the Saba Mikhail says, "A Chochma techayeh es ba'aleha." When you get the understanding, you get the Chochma, it makes you alive. It makes you alive. It makes you alive. Without the Chochma of Torah, Chochma of mitzvahs, so that gets you alive. So first thing, a person himself, first he has to get the Chochma of Torah. Wow. He sees a sugya, Sulsa the Shmeitzer. He sees a sugya and he says, this is a tzura of a sugya. He says the iyun. He sees a tzura of a sugya. Not like Balabatim, read quick and fast. And not like Amaratzim, don't even read right. And not to read it stam. I can read Chatterstein. I can read this good. So I don't have to come to yeshiva. I have to learn. You have to show, to give them the iyun. The depthness of Torah you can give in the yeshiva. They see here Hashem. They see Kutsha Brichu Chadu. They see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Sugya. They see Hashem in the Sugya. How do they see Hashem in the Sugya? When they get Hana for the understanding, the Etzem HaTorah, and they understand, they get to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So you have to get the taste of Torah. So if you taste the Torah and you see, you understand, you get the taste, you get pleasure. So then what happens is then you're able to give it over. You're able to teach them how to get it. So Kshot Atzmo Tchila means first you have to get yourself, training yourself how to get the pleasure of Torah. You have to focus on that. It's a muchach. According to this Chazal, the yeshiva can get a lot of talmidim, yeshiva to get a lot of students. According to this chazal, we have to teach people to get pleasure of Torah. Why is no talmidim? Because no pleasure. They can get pleasure other place. And why guys, better I can see a movie, I can see a woman, I can have tivus, other tivus in the woman, tivus food, sleeping in bed, it's more, I know, they're learning Torah. He didn't give them the pleasure. If they can feel pleasure of sleeping, pleasure of eating, pleasure of, every pleasure that can be, it's more than Torah, you didn't get the pleasure. You have to show the eichus and kamus. The pleasure of Torah is the most pleasure that could be. You have to get them that pleasure. Tamuru, you have to taste, this is really tastes good. This is really won't taste that thing. Then you're selling something. You're able to give them something. Before that, you didn't give them nothing. You're selling chatzatz. You're selling chol. You're not selling Torah. You're selling avir, air. You're not selling Torah. To sell Torah has to be eichus, has to be value, has to show, this is worth it for me to come to hear this Torah. It's worth it for me to get out of bed. It's worth it for me to get out of sleep. It's worth it for me to not to eat, to come to hear this, to taste the word of Torah. So how you get that? First has to be yourself. If you're able to enjoy yourself, and you enjoy yourself, Kshot what do you mean Kshot? You do it to yourself, a PMS, you keep it yourself, and you do yourself, you enjoy the Torah, and you have the taste of Torah. Now when you learn, your face like Tisha B'Av. And when you learn your face, you don't see happiness in your face. You're learning Torah, you're not a good example. You don't have no enjoyment yourself. You don't really enjoy the Torah, so how you give it others is a fake phony. They know you're faking it. They see it clearly, so why they don't come to you? Because they don't see the etzem of Torah. But when they see, Torah is really the most excitement, and the most happiness, and the most enjoyment in everything. They want to be near you. They want to get it. Because this is the world today of enjoyment. This is our world today. No, we already made, we made a decision already. We already passed it a couple of weeks ago. What is the most today? The most equal today is enjoyment. Already you can say, rest everything, happiness. This is already history. Today, in our world today, the most important is enjoyment. More than everything. More than happiness. We really explained it already. Chazal, already worked on it. That's not the subject now. Already made a decision. We have to work on enjoyment. So we have to change the world, to change ourselves. First ourselves, then everyone has to have enjoyment in learning. So what is the first step in enjoying learning? After you learn in the morning, afternoon, how's your face? How you feel? I have enjoyment or not? I don't know, did I not know? Don't fake yourself. You learned already, today's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You finish the day. You got every boy in the shas to get a no. If you didn't get that no, you didn't do the tachlis. You have to be, tachlis has to come with mitzias. Every boy in the shas has to come out with a no. Cause when you don't get a no, you didn't do a tachlis. So how you get the tachlis? Everybody, first it starts with yourself. You have to make yourself a cheshbon and din the cheshbon on that. Where if I have a no myself for learning or not a no for myself for learning. Or I'm doing mitzvah with the mother. I'm doing something I don't really want to do. I do something that I'm not really doing I'm not doing mechavasi balam. Who knows what? Cheshbon is make it zachir. But the end game of this thing, it has to be ki ha-Torah koleles kol ha-Torah shebalam. The Torah has the most pleasure in everything. The Torah has the most everything in it. Everything is ano. If you don't get that pleasure and you don't feel it yourself, you don't really live it and do it yourself, you cannot give it to others. You're faking. Who are you faking? You're faking others. You're building talmid, you're building people, they don't have it. Because you don't have it, they don't have it. And the same thing, father and his wife, children, if everybody in there, the same. But first it starts with yourself. Then you have your wife, and you have children. Everything is very different. You have Talmidim, Klal Yisrael. Like it says in davening, we say, Udvorov choyim vekayomim venechmodim load oleinu, first anos, al avaseinu, aboneinu, vadoroseinu, vakozet. But first has to be anos. Before even everybody has to be dvorov, the words of Torah, choyim vekayomim, ne'emonim, venechmodim, al avaseinu. V'oleinu, and the father's ready, what's already? V'oleinu has to be anos. Then, adboneinu, adoroseinu, the first has to be anos. If you don't have the Torah is nechmad, nemonim, v'nechmodim, noad, you believe in the Torah, and it's nechmad, it cannot go over. It cannot go over to others. Has to be, the Torah has to be sweet to yourself. Nechmadi, because we learn today, has to be with two, say, Torah aspicho, say, umitzur dvash. The Torah is the more than more than all the sweetest gifts that could be, has to be the Torah. According to this Chazal we learn today, it has to be Kshot atzmechot chila. It has to be first yourself. You have to make a decision and make achlot as a dinu, he says. Dinu. Shekshat chila. It's an isur to others. First is, you have to work on yourself to be the dinu. You have to make on yourself this halacha. To make yourself, you have to be emes to yourself. Emes. Emes on yourself, that really emes, I have to be a person that has enjoyment and learning. It's impossible different. Impossible different. It's not, it says a shorim. Im Adam oile, oile oile mimoy. If you grow up, the world goes up with you. Hashem says clearly. Im Adam oile, if you grow up, oile, the world goes up with you. If you don't grow yourself, other people cannot grow. If you're not growing yourself, and you're not excitement and learning yourself, so how can be others? It's against, it's mitzvah against it. It's not really, say, if you're not growing yourself, everybody's going down. But mitzvah. So, and there's a muchach. You have to be emes to yourself, and you have to grow yourself. It has to be in davening and learning, and benodol chaveiro, benodol mokom. Has to be, you have to grow yourself. Has to be cheshbon, like this thing has to be, is a muchach. It's a muchach. We said, Noach Odom Shelo Nivro, Mishenivro. What is Noach Shelo Nivro? Is not pleasure this world is not pleasure. Noach Odom Shelo Nivro means is a better person not to live. Naturally, it's not why not successful. After this, there's no only way to do it. There's no do Mussar. You don't know about this Hashem. So how are you able to grow more? Comes out, we learned today a big yesod today. We learned today you have to make yourself beautiful. You have to make yourself beautiful. If you don't make yourself beautiful, what do it mean make yourself beautiful? External beautiful, but inside has to work on emes. To make the Torah emes to yourself. Emes. Emes lamito. Emes lamito. If it's not emes lamito, if you don't get the chap to yourself and learning really chap, you don't get the happiness. You don't get the enjoyment. If you learn the covet you don't really get it yourself. So now really is not you don't have that no. When you get that no, well, you understand it. I understand learning. I understand covet you. I understand that b'chono. Wow, I understand that. I understand the kodesh Yankov. When you understand it. Then you have when you understand it, so then you get the ano, then you have enough the ano. Or you have the ano, don't have ano. There's no faking here. There's no, you did in the world of enjoyment. You enjoyed the ice cream, or you didn't enjoy the ice cream. The world today is a world of ano. And today, lo chaser on anos. If you don't get the ano of learning Torah and yeshiva here the most, there's no way boys will come to learn the yeshiva.
What was it used to be that people had when they didn't so important to have it.
No, you didn't understand. If you would be in the time of the Rebbe, my father, Zechavacha, and then also they know the enjoyment of Torah is the most enjoyment. The people ran after the enjoyment.
Even then it was enjoyment.
Yes, only then. It's the only way to enjoyment. Without that, it cannot come. I talked to David Sackton about it yesterday. The only thing was enjoyment. The enjoyment of Torah, that was very powerful. People give everything for the enjoyment of Torah. Everything. Everything. Nothing in the world stops them from the enjoyment of Torah. Everything in the world, the enjoyment of Torah is the biggest enjoyment that exists in the world. But the people don't want to, that we don't give it to them. There's our job. There's our problem today. Because they only have 10 people here. So it'll be thousands. And the bottom line has to be 1,000 boys here. There's no reason why not. Thousands of boys. Thousands of thousands. There's no reason why not. Why we were missing the ano, taking people to join me, ourselves and others. There's the Metzias. Nothing. Yeah, there's the al-chait. There's the Metzias. Nothing. And nothing to talk. And it's saying the children and why people leave Yiddishkeit because they don't feel ano from learning Torah. A Torah learn. Why people go to work. And people go to work. It doesn't exist. Crazy person that exists in the world is going to work. There's no who's at work is the most craziest person. No, and I look at him, the most craziest person. And I think it's nuts, lunatic to him. They take it to psychiatrists to go to Bet Cholim Sukkah Nefesh. Everyone who works, everyone. They don't think that. They think they're healthy and they think they're happy. Achmon al-Etzlan. Achmon al-Etzlan. Damash Achmon al-Etzlan. Achmon al-Etzlan mamash. Achmon al-Etzlan. Achmon al-Etzlan. They don't get the taste of Torah. They're ready to give up for a couple of thousand shekels. They give the Torah's pichon mafis. They're ready to live for the Torah. They're giving up a couple of oila mazeh for Torah. That's crazy. Now Mishugoyim. For the oila mazeh and oila mabeh don't have. And they think, a couple hours I learn, like a student, 1 hour, there's nothing there. If you don't give his own kiyomus boil, if you don't give yourself kula and Torah, it's impossible to be in Torah. Like a fish. You take him out of the water, what happens to him? He dies. You can take a fish out of the water. What happens if you take a fish out of the water? He dies or not? And sending a person leaves the Torah and he goes to work, is taking out the fish out of the water, out of Torah. He's not meshuganer, he's living his Torah. Living Chaim. Chaim is missing. Life. It's giving to us, I'm meshuganer. Nuts. Mamash nuts. He's living Torah's Hashem. Torah's Hashem is missing. Olam Mazi doesn't have, and Olam Mabi doesn't have. Olam Mazi doesn't have because he thinks this is Olam Mazi. No, the biggest Olam Mazi is Torah. And Olam Mabi doesn't have because he's not learning Torah. He's not meshuganer. He's not nuts. He's not has to go to psychiatrist and has to go to Bet Cholim Shuga Nefesh. Yes. But they don't want to say because the world, the society is that way. The world is that way. The world has its own society, all these things. So they have this way, but really, it really is but they accept it. They make it like you have people called they gay. People have this, and people should go the same thing. The same thing, and the maloch is the same thing. Many people this way, many people this. Both of the derech. Emes not derech. They don't see the emes. Emes is to take in yourself. You have to enjoy on yourself. Take the Torah on yourself, and keep it. Enjoy every word of Torah. Have enjoyment. You have to be by the ano. Understand every word of Torah is unbelievable. עוד כמה דקות ייגמר השיעור.
אתם מתפללים מנחה פה?
כן, עוד מעט, כמה דקות. כן, 1:30. עוד כמה דקות.
אז יצא ספר תורה גם?
לא, אין ספר תורה עכשיו, זה במנחה אין.
אבל עכשיו יש, בהיכל יש ספר תורה?
כן, ודאי.
אני חלק
בסדר. בסדר, אבל תבואי עוד מעט. זה עוד רבע שעה. את תקצרי פה בפנים. תקצרי.
טוב, אני אלך לקבר
בסדר.
המלך ואחרי זה.
כן, בסדר. There's no way out. There's a muchach. There's a din. You have to first, you have to work on yourself to enjoy the learning. It's a muchach. This is the stop, the beginning. The first step, you have to enjoy yourself. You have to make a decision. I don't want to enjoy Taivas, I want to enjoy Torah. Make a decision. I want to enjoy this here. What do you want to enjoy? You want to enjoy Taivas, you want to enjoy Lamazin? Or you want Torah? So you have to make a decision. I want to enjoy the learning. So when you learn, when you learn is to get the enjoyment of learning. This is the beginning. There's the beginning and there's the end. The beginning. And from that, when you enjoy learning, you so enjoy learning, then you get your children to enjoy, your wife, the value, everything, Shiva, everybody. And first you have to make a decision on yourself. You really want to enjoy Torah. And then you want to get people to taste it. The taste of Torah. Imagine the taste today. We learned today. Unbelievable. We learned today. Abel Chanan. We learned today. Abel Chanan. Au Safta. The story of Safta we learned today. And we learned today. We learned Abel Yoina. We learned Chidusha. The Yad HaRamah we learned today. Unbelievable. Abel Chanan made him a pecha on all the Rishonim and Achonim here. It's unbelievable what Rabbi Chanan did. He took the Kshot, he took everyone, he made everybody a new solution in the middle. Not the Kshot, not the Nesivos. He made something, a new Chiddush. Unbelievable Chiddush. If you understand the Chiddush of Rabbi Chanan made every Chiddush here. You enjoy it, and you have enough from it, then other people also want to enjoy it. If we don't really feel this is the biggest Hana, you have Hana learning. But it has to be the best Hana in the world. You think Hana and money is the same? Hana and time is the same? It has to be much more. It has to be the Torah, has to be the biggest Hana. The most enjoyed in the world has to be Torah. When you enjoy the Torah and it has a real Hana, you feel it. People feel it, they see it. They see on your face is happiness. They see on your face, not Tisha B'Av, they see Simchas Torah on your face. They have to see your face, Simchas Torah, happiness. You learn today Torah, today every boy in the yeshiva has to be, after you learn in the morning Torah, he goes outside, they see, wow, he has a face here. They teach here life. They teach him happiness, enjoyment here in the yeshiva. I want to be also the same. I want to connect myself the same. They see the face, happy. They want to be also the same way. But Chaz Shalom, they don't see the faces, they see the faces Tisha B'Av. One of Tisha B'Av, not happiness, worries, thinking about this and thinking about that. So I want to be Torah. Adarab, every time you learn Torah, you have to feel is injecting of happiness, enjoyment, like no, that could be. How you get it? When you understand, when you learn. Don't fake yourself. When you fake yourself, you lose the enjoyment. It has to be emes. This is the Chazal here. Kshot Azmecha has to be emes to yourself. Emes to yourself. It has to be true to yourself. If you have questions, ask. If you don't understand, ask yourself. Don't live a world of illusion. Don't live in a world of sheker. A world of denying yourself, faking yourself. Forget about what you're living for. Because you're living that Lord of sheker, you're destroying yourself and destroying everybody. Ad Mussar, you live that way. Till when? You're not living a life of enjoyment, meaning you're faking yourself. And you're thinking no one sees it. Everybody sees it. You see on your face if you enjoy, you don't see it enjoy. They see it. You cannot run away from it. Or you enjoy it, you don't enjoy it. You see it. You have ano, you don't have ano. So the first thing is Kshot Azmecha. First you have to make yourself enjoyment yourself and you make a decision. Lamanu dinis, you have to make as a din on yourself. Hikash atz, you have to be emes to yourself. Emes to yourself. Chois Azmecha tchila, you have to be emes to yourself. And everyone has different rules in emes. What is emes? Try to do. What is emes you have to do? You learn more as emes. But according to your emes, you're holding now you to do it. You learn more, you live in. You don't have to do what everybody does. You don't call me. I'm Shimon Bar Yochai, and I'm not Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah, and I'm not Rabbi Tarfon. You don't call me. You call me my name, Shlomo. Everyone has to be who he is. And according to his emes, understand now, with his eyes seasoned, he has to live according to emes. Don't live in illusion. I want to be his emes and not emes. I want to fake myself. You're not living the emes. And what happens? You're not living the emes. You're hurting yourself. You're not living the enjoyment. You're not living the Torah. It's not Torah's Chaim. The Torah has to be alive. When it's emes, the Torah is alive. Torah comes to be part of you. You come to be a living Sefer Torah. You're not coming, a Torah is living. You come to be a Torah that's alive in you. You see a living Sefer Torah. A living Sefer Torah is walking here, like the Gemara says. You see a living Sefer Torah walking. They think different. But what is the first step we're learning in this Chazal? You have to make yourself happy when you learn. Not happy. Enjoy when you're learning. You must enjoy when you learn. This is the step we're learning today. There has to be enjoyment. This is it. Finish of, don't feel, every day you learn, you feel, This is, you didn't enjoy it. You must come down to the enjoyment. This is it. Every morning, every check yourself. It comes 1 o'clock, I enjoy myself now. Why yourself? In the night, why? Every night. Every time you have to check yourself. Why not enjoyment? Why enjoy myself? You have to start to build in you the enjoyment of Torah Adasof. Tachlis Hanor has to be the biggest Hanor that can be. Torah has to be the most enjoyment Hanor. Not 0 Hanor, not 80, 100. Has to be 100% Hanor. When you see you have tremendous Hanor, unbelievable, that everybody will be able to give it others. And then able to teach others also. They want to be, how you have this Hanor? They also want to get it. They want to need the same way like you. But you have to work on that first.